We'll get to all the good stuff that the Knicks did, but that was just a performance to remember by that guy. And considering all the talk that's been going on in this town, wow.
Yeah, but, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, that's what the best of the best do. I mean, it's winning time. You had that feeling that he was going to do something special tonight. That's just what the great players end up doing in this building. And, you know, he certainly had his garden moment, I guess you'd call it. It was unbelievable performance. How red hot he was and how the building responded to it. He seemed like he had a lot of fun.
And the Knicks had a hand in his face a lot of the time.
He was well defended, but the guy's 7 feet tall. You can't defend him because he's so skilled. He's so good. And, you know, I said it earlier, he's bridging that gap between him and LeBron. It's the best player in the NBA, and he showed why tonight. He absolutely took that game over in the fourth quarter. It's tough. You guard him with a smaller guy, he shoots over him. You guard him with a bigger guy, he dribbles around him, he gets to the basket. He can dunk, he can pass. He's a complete player, and you put him with two great shooters, you can't double him. So as a result, he just takes over in the fourth quarter.
Time for the DraftKings player spotlight, and guess who it falls on? That's right, Kevin Durant. You know, it's almost like they lay in the weeds until it's go time.
He had 16 after 3 quarters. He ended up with 41. You know, again, just an all-time great player, and he just took over. As you saw, he got aggressive. He scored the first 10 points of the quarter for his team, and they took the lead, and he was just on fire at that point. There was just no stopping him. And you just see his reactions here. While you played with him, you know really what he was at the very beginning of his career. But he is one of the great scorers in the game.
Well, he puts in the work, too. This guy works his butt off before practice, after practice, getting shots up. He's a really high percentage, good free throw shooter and three-point shooter. And, you know, just the way his game has evolved, how smart he's become as a player, the way he's just consistent year after year. But
there's also something else in the DNA about somebody like this.
Yeah, when it comes to
turn it on.
When it comes to crunch time, he wants the ball in his hands. You know, he got criticized a little bit when he was in Oklahoma City for not being able to close games and not being able to get that team with Russell Westbrook to the finals and over the hump. So he said, all right, I'm going to go to Golden State and just dominate the league. And, hey, he's dominating it, and he's doing it in the fourth quarter, and this team is pretty impressive to watch.
Okay, in the first half, Frank Ntilikina, after getting the start at point guard, did some really good things.
It was an interesting starting lineup that David Fizdale went with. It changed up almost everything other than Tim Hardaway Jr. And Frank Ntilikina being moved to the point was something that I know a lot of fans have been dying to see. And you got to give Frank credit. First of all, they were giving him shots. They were daring him to be a scorer, and he was. Yeah. And you had to like his aggressiveness. The fact that he was hit the three-pointers in this game was important too.
That was my favorite move.
You got to love this. But that shows how aggressive he is, right? The fact that he's doing that. And how about this defense against the 7-footer in Durant, just forcing him into a fadeaway shot. And look at him again, aggressive.
And that's against Klay Thompson. That's against a very good defender.
Yeah, so this was very positive to see from Frank Ntilikina. It was not necessarily him being a playmaker, but him being a scorer, him being assertive. And that's been the knock on him, that he's too tentative, too hesitant sometimes. He was aggressive tonight.
Yeah, and elevate your game against the champs. I love seeing that from a young player. This is a guy, second year in the league. You know, he's young, but he took the challenge against Steph Curry. You know, I think he defended him very well. He was out there for his defense. Steph is tough to defend. He's going to make tough shots, and sometimes you got to just tip your hat. But offensively, I love the way he went back at him. I love the aggressiveness. He made a couple moves we haven't really seen. That spin move was the first time we've ever seen that really in his career against a defender like Klay Thompson. Phenomenal performance. He's got to continue to build on it. He's looking more and more comfortable in the starting lineup, and that's a good sign for Knicks fans for things to come with Frank.